What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hope you guys enjoyed that Thursday game just like me and Danny did up until about the third quarter. But we're not here to talk about football today, which sucks. I'm very excited for tomorrow. I hope everybody else is. Hope you guys can join us if you guys have any more questions. Um, and I've seen a lot of you guys reaching out to either the D&D Sportcast Twitter page or my personal page, King Jersey Scott, asking me questions. I appreciate it. The questions are very good, gentlemen. Keep them coming, and we'll keep giving you answers. Now, before we launch into the show, if you guys want to find us anywhere, any podcast platform, you can find us at anchor.fm/DND1. That'll take you to Google, Apple, whatever podcast you like to use that, Castbox, shit, Anchor, YouTube. You can't find us on Twitch anymore. Fuck Twitch. So if you guys want to find us, like I said, anchor.fm/DND1. So what's going on, Danny? How you doing, brother?
I'm good. You?
I'm all right. I know you're not in the best of spirits since what's been going on with the New York Mets.
I knew it was only. I told you, DJ. It was only a matter of time. You've been sucking their dick all summer.
Oh my God, sir!
J-
What the fuck?
Yeah, just like all these other Met fans out here. Oh, new owner. Oh, new. And I've been sitting here, keeping my mouth shut, and I've just been saying every week, it's only a matter of time before it falls apart. This year, it took a little longer than last year.
I would say it. I mean, overall, just the way that the Mets play in their history, I think this slump it took a while, all the way till September. You know.
You figure they're going into these last couple of games. They were 46-20 against teams with a less than 500 record. Now you want to start September, and now you want to start playing like shit. It was only a matter of time. Like I said, I I was not going to be the I wasn't going to be that Met fan. Oh yeah, different team. Oh yeah, World Series. Oh, yeah, they look good, really good throughout the whole year. And they were definitely World Series favorites. But I wasn't going to be the one to sit here and be all gung ho about it. Yeah, I know. Oh, you were skeptical. Oh yeah, you're thinking like you got the same mentality, as if the Wilpons are still here. Well, with or without the Wilpons, this still seems like the same old Mets.
Well, I mean, we can't put all the blame on Cohen. I think he's done a fantastic job since he's stepped in as the owner. And it always goes back to that saying, like, you could fire the owner or you could sell the team, you could fire the manager, you could fire the trainer, you could fire a plethora of guys, but it all comes down to the players on the field,
Yes,
them
but
executing.
I can put the blame on him and the general manager for not doing nothing at the trade deadline. Granted, I know they don't want to trade big chips because they're trying to, you know, build the farm system, have sustainable success for the future. But really, that's the best you can fucking do was Darren Ruff and Tyler Naquin and then Michael Givens. They've
Well,
all they've all played like shit.
Naquin has had his shining moments here and there.
No, that's not enough. That doesn't cut it. Shining moments.
No,
Like,
I
like
understand.
that doesn't make sense.
I fully understand what you're
Like
saying.
I seen a tweet last night where someone had posted Darren Ruff's stats. He was hitting like less than 200, no extra base hits. And I'm looking at the stats and I'm like, yo, you guys would have been better off with just sticking with Dominic Smith. I blame the players and I blame ownership and the general manager for not doing enough at the trade deadline. I don't want like I get it. We're not trying to trade all our chips because we're trying to have sustainable success. But that's the best you could have done. Like, come on now, get the fuck out of my face.
I mean, I think the only
And
player that's really done something for the Mets from the trade deadline is fucking Vogelbach.
not even. Yeah,
At least he's doing something.
no, he's not even. Getting walked? That's it. He's not hitting for any power. He's not hitting for any extra base hits. Him and Naquin had that first week or two
Yeah.
where they were hot. Now nothing. So you traded for them to have better DH production, and you're not getting it. So what the fuck?
Well, before we dive into the standings,
Like I told you, like I said, after it happened, they're gonna fall flat on their fucking face. I hope they don't win the division, and I hope they fall flat on their face and not even make the playoffs. Now, yes, they're still gonna make the playoffs. They're still gonna be a 90-win team, but I don't. That's not good enough for me. It's really not.
I understand
You're playing.
the expectations were set very high this year.
It's just unacceptable. It really is. And honestly, I get it. There's still like 20 games to go, but dude, they're gonna be a wild card team. They're not gonna win this division. They're gonna continue to play like shit. Atlanta's gonna gain their ground. They're gonna put some space between us and them, and that's just what it's gonna be. And then they're gonna go into the wild card series, and I wouldn't be surprised if Philly beat them
Well,
or San Diego.
if it's one team that can beat them, it is San Diego or Philly.
Dude,
Philly's been very hot.
whoever it is, they can't score. So whether they have the Grom pitching or whether Scherzer's pitching, if he's healthy, if they can't score, they're not gonna win.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Well, I mean, you'll probably kill me for what I'm gonna say, but I think I said it to you a couple weeks ago when the lead was like 3.5 for the Mets. I said the goal is to just keep them within 3.5, right? So, to point to what you're saying, the time is now. You know what I mean? All right, you had a little slump. I'm just saying, speculating, looking at the team. Shitty run right now. Just hold it together for that last series. Just so it's almost like you just make it to this point, so at least we have this shot.
You really think if they're 2.5 games out heading into that final series, you really think they have a chance to beat Atlanta? Dude, they can't score any runs. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals. Yeah, they got blown out in that one game in Pittsburgh. Yeah, they won the other 2. What do you fucking do? And look at how they played last night.
I didn't catch the game last night.
They're done, bro. They're done. My predictions have finally come true, and it was only, like I said, it was just a matter of time. I was waiting for this all year. And now on September 10th, it's come to fruition.
All right.
So congratulations, assholes. And all you other Met fans out there that have been riding high, like, oh yeah, this is a team to beat. Oh yeah, new owner. Oh yeah, new field. Oh, yeah. Yeah?
I still think the future looks bright for them. And it playoffs are just a weird atmosphere. Almost every year we see a team, i.e. an example, last year Atlanta, caught fire at the end of the season, slipped into the wild card, and then blew everybody up.
Yeah,
so,
but the Mets are not capable of doing that.
Well, also to my point though, Danny, is I understand, you're like, all right, you can't lose to Washington. You can't, you can't lose one to the Marlins. You can't lose one to Pittsburgh. The reason why I think they can beat Atlanta is because I've noticed this season when the Mets play those tough teams, they do step up. So that's all we can hope for is for them to step up.
I doubt it. No, I understand what you're saying, but I doubt it.
All right, you want to hit us with the NL standings?
So the Cardinals are in first in the NL Central. They're 81-58. They have an 8-game lead over the Brewers. They're 73-66. The Cubs are 58-80. The Reds are 56-80, and the Pirates are 51-86. Finally, the Mets have been knocked out of their temporary first place fantasy world. The Braves are finally back in first. 87-51. They have a half-game lead over the Mets.
Hey, Danny, it only took them 138 games.
Like I said, it was only a matter of time. Whether it was last month, whether it was this month, whether it was before the All-Star, it was only, like I said, it was only a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
The Mets, they're 87-52. The Phillies, they're 76-62. Marlins, 57-80, and the Nationals are 49-90. The Dodgers, they're in first. They're 94-43. They have an 18-game lead over the Padres. They're 77-62. The Diamondbacks, they're 65-72. The Giants, they're 65 and 73, and the Rockies, they're 60 and 79.
You know what's funny? The Giants have quietly sucked this year.
Compared to how they played last year?
Yeah, or even the first half of this year. You know, it's like because you just said the standings. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys dropped below Arizona? What the fuck? What?
Yeah.
I was talking to my cousin last night. He's like, yo, I like when teams that are not supposed to play good. I'm like, who? He's like, the Diamondbacks. They look good. I'm like, yeah, they look good for what? Nothing.
Yeah, they're playing better now, but like they're still a shitty team.
Yeah, you're 65 and 72. Granted, you're keeping the margin for a 500 record pretty close. I'll give you props for that. But it's, I don't know, like, looking at the Cubs, there's no reason to watch the Cubs, even if they're playing great ball. The season, we talked about this months ago. The season for these teams was over months ago.
Yeah.
I still have hope for the Brewers, but I think they're done, man. I think they're done.
They are.
Their only shot is to catch, San Diego, and they're down 4.5 games.
That's not going to happen.
4.5 games in 20 games. The only way I could see it happening is if fucking San Diego implodes.
Yeah,
and they're on fire right now. They're 7 out of their last 10.
Right.
And the Brewers are 4-6. So, I mean, big props to the Cardinals. I mean, since the All-Star break, they just absolutely were like, nope, not having it. And they've taken off. Now, they look like a scary team in the playoffs, especially if, Mr. fucking Pujols keeps cranking them out of the fucking yard.
They do. They definitely look like a legit threat right now, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we touched on the Braves and the Mets. Got to tip your cap to Atlanta. We can't. I know you're a Met fan. I'm not high on the Atlanta. I just wanted them to win one last year because it's been so long. But there's no quitting that fucking team, man. They just don't care. 11-game lead? I don't give a shit.
It's like the Mets are really literally just a one-dimensional team. They don't have for no power. They're a singles hitting team.
You know what it feels like for the Mets? It feels like Murphy's Law. Whatever can happen will happen, and there's no gray area to them. It's either they're firing on all cylinders, or they can barely manifest a run.
Yeah, and it can't be like that. That's not a championship caliber team. As much as I like Lindor, he's way too inconsistent. Yes, he's had a great year, as far as shortstops go, but too inconsistent. Bases loaded last night, 1 out, down by a run. You fucking ground out into an inning-ending double play. Like, suck my dick, motherfucker.
At that point, you were better off just bunting. And I know you're not crazy about bunts, but at that point, this is what kind of gets me aggravated about managers in baseball. People aren't hitting. You're kind of cold. People aren't going to expect you to do something of that nature.
No, but I doubt a bunt is gonna wake somebody up and get them to all of a sudden start hitting.
I wouldn't say one individual. I think it would just spark the team a little bit.
I doubt that.
That's just my perspective. It's like, look, if A, B, and C isn't working, then let me go all out, balls to the wall, and just try something to get a spark on this team to get a response.
Yeah.
And baseball is one of those true sports where it's one play can change an entire season for a team or a series. It can go a long way. All right, so I'll give you the American League standings. The Yankees holding on as tight as a baby, 83 and 56. They are up right now 8-1 on the Rays. The Rays are 78 and 58, 3.5 games behind. The Blue Jays 77, 65 games behind. The Orioles 73 and 65, man. I'm going to just keep giving you guys a round of applause. Boston Red Sox. I mean, positive note for the Yankees. They suck worse than anything. 67 and 72. That's like one of the first times I've actually, not the first time, but it's been a while since I've seen them with a negative record like that. Nobody really expects that from Boston, ever. All right, then we have the AL Central, the Cleveland Indians, 71-65. They're holding a 1.5 game lead against the surging fucking White Sox, bro. We
Yeah.
keep putting a nail in the fucking coffin, and they keep fucking pushing it out. Fuck you, no, it's not over yet. God damn it.
I mean, they're 6.5 back for the last wild card spot.
Yeah,
Even
but
as
they're
good as they've
only
been playing, it's not happening.
they're only a game and a half behind Cleveland.
Yeah.
The Twins, a little rough patch for them. 3-7. They fall to third place, 69-68. The Royals 56-83, irrelevant. The Detroit Tigers 53-85, irrelevant. The Houston Astros 89-49. That team, they just keep chugging. The Seattle Mariners 77-61. The Angels 60-78. The Rangers 59-78, and the Athletics 50-89. So the way the playoffs are looking for the American League, it would be Houston number 1, Yankees number 2, Cleveland number 3, Rays number 4, Blue Jays number 5, and the Mariners at 6.
Yep.
Well, Yankees win today. They go back to 4.5. The Rays win tomorrow. It's back down to 3.5 games. And the Yankees still have a tough schedule ahead. There's no picnic.
Right.
So the collapse can still happen. I still foresee it happening. The Yankees won that 5 games in a row, and then they go right back to slumping again? And for God, somebody get fucking Aaron Judge a fucking backpack. Or a back brace. Because I ain't never seen one individual in baseball carry a motherfucking team like that, and they just can't do shit. Dude, the other night when fucking Isaiah Kanafalava hit a grand slam, you seen it on Judge's face. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I don't have to do anything. Because, it's got to be frustrating. And I can't stand his interviews, because it's the same fucking answers from him all the time. It's a clubhouse, people we got it all, just get it together. Dude, you're supposed to be the leader. I'm sorry if you do it on the media or not. I'd have been like, look, we just fucking suck. There's no way around it. Call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
And I've been calling it for Cashman's heads for years. I'm sorry. Even if they don't win the World Series, everybody's getting fired. Everybody's getting fired. And this brings me to my first point about Aaron Boone and the Yankees. If George Steinbrenner was still alive, how many managers do you think they would have went through this season?
Well, it's a high probability Boone would have been fired.
I think he would have been fired. I think he would have been fired a couple weeks ago. George would have gave him a little bit of a leash because of that, that gap of the 11.5 or 15.5 game lead they had.
Right.
But I think once that lead clipped 5 games, he was clipping Boone. And can you for the life of me answer this fucking question? Why in the fuck is your best hitter hitting first or second?
Because there's nobody else in the lineup hitting.
But moving him, it doesn't help anybody else. Then if you're starting pitcher, you're like, all right, I gotta get through that guy. I'll walk him, and then I'll just get through the rest.
Right.
And that's what I don't understand is, there's no way if I'm pitching to him, fuck you. Take the base. Go over there. Go over there. No, fuck you. You ain't doing it to me. You ain't putting me on Sports Center number 57. Now, we thought it was going to be the Blue Jays originally, but the Rays, man. The Rays have always had the Yankees number for the past 10 years, and I don't know. The Rays are just scary fucking good right now. 9-1 in their last 10 games.
They are.
The Blue Jays, I don't know. I think it's like the Blue Jays are waiting for lightning in a fucking bottle. It's
as long as they keep playing the way that they're playing, I think they'll be fine.
No, that's what I'm saying. But it's like they both, at a time when the Yankees were playing the worst, had a chance to play good enough baseball to at least jump on them. Now the Rays have done it as late, but the Blue Jays, it's like they're just, like I said, they're waiting for lightning in a bottle. Like you guys got to get to it. You're not going to just coast into the playoffs and everything's going to go your fucking way. That's not. It's not the way it goes.
I mean, the Rays are playing over. I think they're playing. They're definitely playing over 500 baseball. So I mean, you really can't get too much better. I mean, you can't play perfect baseball. I mean, you know. So they're doing what they're doing what they're supposed to do. Granted, they're losing today, but
Well,
they're doing what they're supposed to do.
well, I mean, like to go back to the Mets. Also, it's like that. You can't win every series.
No, but I mean,
But to your point, Washington, Pittsburgh, and the Marlins, we shouldn't even be losing a game.
I mean, if you ask me, I mean, unfortunately, my brother, he's taking me to the game Thursday night. But honestly, I'm probably not gonna watch a game for the rest of the month.
Who they playing Thursday night?
They're playing Pittsburgh.
All right, well, at least you get to see O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah, but
6'7", 220 pounds, playing fucking shortstop.
yeah, but like I said, I'm probably not gonna watch a game for the rest of this year for them. Even I was even thinking like even a playoff game. It's like for what? To see them not hit. I'm not watching this anymore. It's hit that point of disgust, and it's
I get it. I understand. Especially because you're a Met fan. I don't think if you were a Met fan, I think you'd be critical, but you wouldn't be so hypercritical of them. I think you would still have the same doubts that you do, as in like, all right, when's the fallout coming? Because it comes for the Mets every year. We see it in every fashion for them every year. Now, granted, I thought this would be their fucking year where it's not going to happen. Now, they're slowly telling me to go fuck myself, which I do not appreciate.
I told you it happened.
And you did. And, when you text me and when we're offline and you're like, fucking Miami, fucking 6-3, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, all right, relax. It's just one game. It's just one game.
I started watching that game. They went down 2-0 in the first. I shut the game off immediately. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not.
All right, so barring the East of the Blue Jays, Rays, and Yankees, we know they're in. I'm still hoping for Baltimore to get in, but I think they're just gonna miss it, which is gonna suck.
Because they've been playing really good the second half of this season.
They've been really fun to watch. I mean, I've watched a couple of games. It's a fun team to watch. They're young, and they want to win. They want to compete.
Yeah.
And you can't ask much more from your team than that. Especially where they're at. They trade Trey Mancini, they get rid of pieces, and they're still pushing along.
Yeah.
All right. So do you think the White Sox are gonna catch Cleveland?
It's possible.
I think it's gonna happen.
I mean,
they're 8-2 in their last 10, and Cleveland's 4-6.
It's definitely possible. Like you said, it's only a game and a half, so.
All right. Well, they play. Let's take a look what their schedule's looking like. All right, so they got the Oakland Athletics today at 4:07 and tomorrow at 4:07. That's 2 games they should win. Then they play the Rockies for a 2-game set. They could definitely win that. And here's the big one. Oh no, Thursday the 15th against Cleveland they have 1 game. Then they play Detroit for 3 games. Then they play Cleveland again for 3 games. So 4 games against Cleveland in this final month, and then 3 games against the Tigers, and then they end 3 games against the Twins, and then they end the season against the Padres. I mean, I think they're set up to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, barring the last 2 weeks of the season, if they lose to the Twins and the Padres, they should be in the driver's seat for that division, especially if they beat Cleveland 3 out of 4 games in this month.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to continue to be like a flip-flop back and forth. It's like you're just going to see them keep flipping from first to second.
First and second, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, to what we were saying a month ago, a couple weeks back, looking like they were done.
Yeah.
Now,
especially for being the most hurt team in the league this year. Almost every player on their fucking lineup has gotten hurt. I think besides 2 bones in the body, every player on that team has had something wrong with them, besides for like 2 places.
You're right.
What could we say about Houston? That's another. You just tip your cap.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, I mean, the Mariners. I'm really excited about them. It was an okay game last night. They did fight with Atlanta, but Atlanta's just locked in right now.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Atlanta make it back to the World Series. And I'm
The-
telling you right now, by the time the Mets play Atlanta that last weekend series, the Mets are going to be at least 5 games out, and they're going to that division's going to be clinched before they even get into Atlanta.
Well, there is a positive to that though.
What?
You can rest some of your players now at the end of the year.
Oh, rest some of these guys regardless, dude. They can't fucking hit. So what does it matter?
In a 162 game season, I think it matters. It's got to matter for something. Especially
Yeah, right.
like you said, they're not going to win the division, but they're still going to make the playoffs. So the rest still means something.
I'm not, honestly, I'm just my prediction has come true so far now, and now it's like I really don't even give a shit. It's like, and I'm not even mad about it because I seen it coming.
Yeah, I was hoping it wouldn't come.
So,
But in the back of my mind, Danny, I have this thought though. Remember how we always talk about like droughts and slumps? You'd rather have it in the regular season than in the playoffs. No matter where you are in the standings for the playoffs, you'd rather get it out of your system when you can. Now, unfortunate timing, 100%. This is you guys could have did that 2 months ago and then been on fire, at this time. But as Jim Carrey would say, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
indeed it does. Indeed, it fucking does.
I still think it's going to be a great, final month to the season. I think, we're going to see some things happen. If you're a baseball fan, it's still fun to look forward to what's going to, the playoffs, what's going to happen.
See, like, my thing is, like, you really should have went all out. And I know the Angels were like, yeah, we'll trade Ohtani. Oh, now we don't want to trade him. You should have just went all out. This guy, Steve Cohen, he's willing to spend the money. He's willing to go over $300 million as far as the salary cap. Trade some of these prospects, bro. You haven't, dude. You haven't brought anybody else up except for Brett Beatty, whatever his name is.
No, you got it right, Beatty.
Trade them, dude. You're gonna have a draft next year. You can draft more players next year. You can draft again the year after that. You can draft again the year after that.
So I mean, now you're open now to trade Alvarez.
I was open to trading Alvarez at the deadline if it meant getting Ohtani. Yes.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. But yeah, I remember you were saying like to the effect of like, if it's for Ohtani, I'm all for it. But if it's not for Ohtani, I don't want to get rid of him.
Or even if it was for Soto, I would have been for it.
Yeah.
But anybody else other than those two, no, definitely not.
But I mean, to be honest, I don't think Washington was trading Soto to the Mets. They were definitely not trading him in division.
And I agree, and I understand that. But in general, it's like trade some of these prospects, bro.
Well, all right. So, barring how they finish this year, you would like to see in this offseason the Mets start making moves. Get rid of these prospects, get some solid guys in here. Let's not have what's happening to us this year happen next year.
Yeah, bring in some actual ball players. I mean, look, granted, Canna's been nice. He's had his moments. But the minute they signed him, I'm like, really? Mark Canna? Like, really?
Kanye, my boy.
Really? Like, Eduardo Escobar at first was a decent sign. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of him.
And his versatility.
He's had good years. But now it's like, you're looking at the season that he's had. Yes, Canna's had a nice year, but it's like, really? Now like when I seen them make these additions in the off season, looking at these guys like, really? Canna, Escobar, like what?
Well, the Starling Marte deal was a great deal in the offseason.
Yes, and the Scherzer deal was a good deal, even though
You didn't like it at first.
no, even though he's been banged up, it has worked out for the most part. But I mean, that's it. Like, like
I like Squirrel, but Squirrel can go.
yes, I like McNeil. Yes, I like Brandon Nimmo. But do I think these guys are answers, are part of the future? No,
I think
honestly.
Nimmo is probably the only one that could be a part of it, just because of his effort and the way he plays the outfield.
Yeah.
Because he's the only person on that lineup I see every night and every day that he plays. Doesn't matter if he grounds out or not. He is running full speed out of the box. So I mean,
Yeah.
for me, I love effort, and if he's been in your system, it's almost like you got a soft spot for him as an organization. I would, if being a Met fan.
Right.
You're the only one out here, and you don't hit the best. That's okay, but you're a good leadoff hitter. You have speed, and you play the outfield great. So I mean, I think he should stay. So him, Starling, Lindor, Pete, uh, Nito, maybe.
I mean, he's a good defensive catcher, but and I get it. You need more production at a catcher.
Yeah.
So in a sense, yes, that's where Alvarez would come into play.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you got to do something else has to be done. Like honestly, I'm all for finding a way to trade Escobar, finding a way to trade Mark Canna, and bring other guys in.
I,
See,
I mean, it could
honestly,
happen at the end of the year.
see if you can go out there and sign Xander Bogaerts. Honestly, Xander Bogaerts and Francisco Lindor up the middle. I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
And then honestly, go make a trade for fucking Otani, bro. Stop fucking playing games.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I could see that happening. I guess what the Angels were doing is they were throwing it out there, seeing what they can get, see what they can reel in, see what the buzz was going around for Otani. They didn't like it, so they pulled it. But now we know in the offseason everything's laid out on paper. The plan of attack for next year is starting to move in place. So I think it's going to be more logical for the Angels to trade him in the offseason, which I think they will. And I do think, oh my lord, that's a fucking bomb. I do think you guys could make a good package for the Angels.
Right.
All right, so we give Otani, and we don't have to pay him that much. We get Kanya, Luis Guillermo, and Squirrel, and the Mets get Otani and a left fielder.
I don't think they're gonna take Guillermo and McNeil in a deal. It's gonna be a lot more.
Oh, and Kanya. Maybe throw in Naquin in there as well. 4 or 5 players. It's almost like you gotta force, the Angels to make that move. Holy shit, he fucking hit a home run.
Let's see.
Yankees up 10-0. 10-3, I apologize.
So I'm trying to see if I can get a list of the potential free agents that are going to be there next year.
For the Mets?
Just in general, who's going to be out there? Honestly, it looks like it might be a very, very bleak off season. I mean, as far as who's really going to be out there, it doesn't really look like there's really going to be any high-profile free agents. I mean, yeah, there's going to be some shortstops, but
Yeah, but the Mets are fine at shortstop. You're gonna have Lindor for a long time.
no, but you can transition one of the guys that's going to be available on the market. You can have one of them play first base. I mean, second base.
Or do you think Bogarts would be opposed to playing third?
I
I mean,
think
A-Rod did it for Jeter and the Yankees.
no, but I think he'd be better off uh, fit for second, and then if anything, trade Escobar or just make him a bench player, and then move McNeil over to third, at least for the time being.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in off-season moves, there could be something done. As you said, it looks bleak, but baseball always looks bleak like that until about a month into the off-season, and then everything just starts jumping off. Or no, excuse me, after the winter meetings, that's when shit starts. The ball starts rolling. When is Luis Guillermo projected to come back?
I don't know, another probably by the end of this week.
All right, so
I
that's
think
that.
he's rehabbing right now.
All right, good. Yeah, I'm just the wheels are turning in my head as in like what the lineup's going to look like at the end of September when everybody's essentially healthy. Starling's back, Guillermo's back. You know,
Right.
because I mean,
Um,
Guillermo was a fire stick for that team.
yeah, but as his bat's not good enough, bro. I mean, yeah, you gotta, yeah, you play very good. They play very good defense, but a lot of these guys, they're not hitting.
Yeah,
Nito, great glove behind the plate, can't hit for shit. Guillermo, he has his moments, but he can't hit for shit.
Escobar has his moments. McNeil has his moments. Oh, and I know you were getting on fucking Lindor, which you have every right to. But where the fuck has Pete Alonso went? Where the fuck's he been? There's a polar bear on a fucking beach.
Yeah, but you also can't just rely on one guy. I mean, he's
No,
not he's not Aaron Judge, so
no, I understand it, but it's he's he pulled the Jason fucking Tatum so far. Where he go? Where's Pete? Anybody seen Pete? Pete who? Pete Alonso, the polar bear. Oh, I ain't seen that boy around here in a couple years. He
I mean,
went he went
he hit,
south for the winter.
I mean, he hit a home run last night, but you know,
Yeah, but see, when you lose, your greatness or great things you do get erased. Like my father always says, and you fucking you hit the nail on the head the other day when we were talking about it. Nobody remembers second place.
nope. So
Oh, nobody remembers second place. Everybody always remembers first and last place.
mm, usually,
Usually. Alrighty. All right. So we'll move on to the news for the MLB, I guess.
yeah. So, um, they have new rules changing for next year.
Let's see.
I'm not gonna get into those because that's a part of my hate it or love it. So
Okay.
I'm gonna save the meat of that for when we get to that topic.
All right. I got you. All right. So
Um,
now the MLB is voluntarily going to recognize a minor league union. Uh,
um,
why wasn't there a union years ago?
I mean, yeah, I mean they're all part of the same thing. They're all major league players in a sense.
Yeah.
Granted, they're not on a major league roster, but they're still a part of the same whole MLB organization as a whole. So they should be protected under the same stuff that major league players are protected under.
I,
Granted, they're not getting paid as much, but they should still be treated just as equal.
yeah. And with all the shit that came out this year about how minor leaguers were treated, shitty piece of shit hotels, it blew my mind. And it I guess in a way they should be happy they made progress. They're about to get their own union. They're trying to get paid a little bit more. They wanted housing. They got better housing. Just better treatment. But this is way too fucking long. Baseball's been out for how long? And how long has the minor league system been a part of baseball? Probably more than half of it.
I'd probably say since maybe the 70s, well, maybe at least the 70s, something like that. Maybe the 60s. I'm not really sure. I'd have to look into that.
I'm looking at it right now.
Um, Google doesn't help.
It's saying 1901.
Um, yeah, it's definitely possible.
All right, so I mean, if so, fact check us on that, but at least, all right. So we'll say it's from the 70s, right? That's it. All right, we'll say the 70s. That's still over 50 years. It took you that long? Like that's bad, man. And
Yeah,
I'm kind of ashamed at baseball for that. It's like you guys have been the longest lasting sport in American history so far, and you guys have no idea how to treat your players.
nope.
Have you heard of a practice squad player in the NFL or a G League player being treated in this fashion?
Not to my knowledge.
Have you even heard about college athletes being treated like this? Shit, college athletes are starting to get paid now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? If I'm a minor leaguer, and if the union does its job correctly, I'm going after the league. I'm
yeah.
going after them. All right, so another news: veteran pitcher Edwin Jackson announced his retirement. The only reason why this is relevant is he played for a record 14 teams. So it means he's like Ryan Fitzpatrick of baseball.
Yeah, and I mean, he's had little shining moments, or where he's pitched okay, but he never really got it together.
I
He
mean,
was,
when you play fucking 14 years, you had to be doing something right to a
he,
degree.
he was a journeyman.
Alrighty.
Um,
I guess you want to jump into the hate it or love it.
yeah, I was just looking at the list of the top 25 players that have player options after this year.
Any doozies?
Um, Judge, we already know DeGrom. Trey Turner.
Oh.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Mets go after him or
Doesn't
Bogarts
he play
because
second base too?
he's second short.
I just love the way he
Um,
slides, man.
yeah,
That's as smooth as like
and then the way he just gets up and it's so
yo, and
clean.
it's just so it's like it's one motion, man. Like
Right.
and the eyes on his face when he looks at everybody after he does it, he's like, I does this.
Yeah.
This is what I do. I steal. You know what I mean?
Nolan Arenado. I mean, he has a $35 million player option going into next year. I mean, it's unlikely he opts out of his contract with the Cardinals.
Unless his agent says, we can get something more
And
somewhere
honestly,
else.
if he opts out, he can definitely get more money. 100%. He definitely can.
And
And
Nolan Arenado on fucking Mets.
that would be a nice addition. I
That's
mean,
a yeet.
granted he's 31, but I wouldn't be opposed to giving him a 4 or 5 year deal.
But for baseball years, he's still in his prime.
Mm, I, mm,
Or all right. He's still in his prime, but it's in the years to come. It's going to start to go down.
yeah, but when is that going to start? So
Usually that starts around 34, 35.
he's been able to stay
Depending on the
healthy,
caliber of player, though.
and he's been able to stay healthy so far. So I mean,
Yeah. I mean, that's scary if he's on the Mets. That's fucking scary.
Carlos Correa, yeah. And then Dansby Swanson, but Atlanta's not going to let him go.
Yeah, they've been locking up all their players through the season already. They've been signing guys.
Yeah, and then there's other guys there, but it's a big drop off after those guys. So but
Nah, I
whatever.
won't even say that. You'll fucking hate me if I say that.
What?
It popped in my head of players that you guys can have on the Mets. I was like, I think Atlanta will part ways with Azuna if you want another left fielder.
No.
You look like his mugshot right now. No. All right, you want to lead us off with the hate it or love it?
Sure. Hate it or love it, the NBA should expand to 100 games. The season starts on October 19th. You know, why not start about a month earlier? I mean, it doesn't hurt.
It's
It's
only
only,
18 games.
you know,
But that's another 18 games and wear and tear on the body. Because essentially, if you're like, all right, for
yeah,
like,
but you can expand the rosters then.
yeah, but like, think about it. I hate to bring him up, but think about it from LeBron's perspective, where he went 7 years in a row to the finals, right?
Right.
In a sense, he was playing 100 games a year for 7 years. That's a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially if you're a competing team year in and year out, where you're going to your division's championship or possibly the finals every off on a year or whatever it so may be.
Right.
So it's 100 fucking games. Like, I love it because it's more basketball. It's only 18 more games, but I think from a player's perspective, I think they'll lose their shit. They'll fucking flip lid.
Why? You expand rosters. You expand the bench.
Yeah,
You,
but then there's also I want more money then.
okay, well, it's a multi-billion-dollar league.
All right, I love it. I'm just saying from a point of view where somebody would be like, or from the players aspect, they'd be like, all right, if you, I'll do the 18 more games, but you're gonna have to break more bread.
Right.
And especially the teams are gonna have to spend more. Like if you're saying an example where they're expanding the rosters and then maybe they're expanding the G League's rosters just for depth. You know what I mean? Because then that's requiring more money than pay.
Yeah.
All right, hate it or love it, Danny. Darnell Henderson will be the number one back for the rest of the season for the Rams.
After what we've seen Thursday night,
I think he
I
looked good.
I love it, but then
I,
again, it's also a small sample size.
yeah, but against a good stout defense, Buffalo did increase, double down on their D line. So, but he had some nice runs. I think against lesser competition. I think I'll pull it right now, just for the sake of it.
He, like you said, against lesser competition, he should be.
He should roll.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, hold on. I just want to see. He's on Willie's team. Yeah, he 24 points in our league.
Right.
Rushing attempts, he rushed 13 times, so we got 13 times for rushing the ball. He got 40 yards, right? And then he had every 10 receiving yards. He had 20 yards receiving and 5 receptions. If that's solid production.
Yeah. Definitely is, and they definitely are gonna need that for sure.
Yeah, they are. And especially the way they fucking played. Let's save that for tomorrow. Almost got ahead of myself. I was getting excited. Go ahead, Danny. It's on you.
All right. Hate it or love it. UFC should be an Olympic sport.
100% it should be, without a doubt. Without a doubt. If judo and jiu-jitsu is in the Olympics, how come MMA isn't?
Yeah. If boxing was at one point or still
It
is,
still is.
why not UFC?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Because honestly, then I'd watch the Olympics. That'd be fucking fire to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that would definitely you would see more fighters. It would shine the light on more guys and
Yeah, probably guys you never heard of before. Because then that kind of like takes away from the UFC, where it's like, they're not getting paid. They're going to compete for their country, and now it's a different ranking system. You're going to see completely different guys coming out of the woodwork to compete because it's not about a contract. It's just that I got to qualify to compete.
because I'm trying to win a gold medal.
Exactly. So then it's like, I think that would stick a thorn right in fucking Dana's side. I think he'd be pissed. He'd be like, "Fuck."
And then you got to figure those regular fights that are 3 rounds and 3 minutes apiece. They're 3 rounds and 5 minutes apiece now.
Where you said 3 minute rounds?
Yeah, a UFC round is what, 3 minutes for a regular
Five.
fight?
5 minutes.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought that was only the championship
No,
fight.
championship is 5 minutes, 5 rounds.
Oh, okay.
Regular fights is 5 minutes, 3 rounds.
So then you would just keep it at that then.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'd love it. That'd be fucking awesome. That'd be
Right?
fucking really cool. I mean, if they just added breakdancing, why in the fuck? You
They
know what I
really
mean?
just added breakdancing?
Yeah, breakdancing is an Olympic sport now. I mean, you can't say it isn't. Them motherfuckers be wowing. You ever watch one of them breakdancing videos?
No.
That kid's go nuts.
Not my cup of tea.
All right, hate it or love it, Danny. Odell Beckham Jr. was signed with the Buffalo Bills after what transpired Thursday.
I hate it.
Why?
I don't think they need him.
Gabriel Davis looked all right, and Diggs was just out there.
You know, and they still have Jameson Crowder. You know, they have what's his name? Isaiah McKenzie.
Yeah,
You know?
but he made a fucking bonehead fucking play.
Granted, still he's young, but I don't think they need him. I mean, I understand what we talked about a few weeks ago about really adding a weapon like that to the offense, but I don't think they need him. Not at all.
Well, he was like speculating that basically whoever won Thursday's night game, he was gonna sign with. Just Odell being Odell, but
Yeah. Fucking
I think it would help them though. That's the only reason why.
fucking clown.
All right, it's on you, brother.
So I know this will never happen, but I really feel like if it was done if it was done this way, I think it would make things super interesting, super balanced. There'd be no super teams. There'd be no, anything like that. Hate it or love it, sport teams should adopt a draft lottery.
You mean every sport should do a draft lottery?
Baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. There'd be no more mega teams. There'd be no more. Oh, I don't want to play here because I want to go over there and play with my best friend. No,
Yeah, but that could still happen through free agency.
no, there'd be no free agency. Everything is a draft lottery. So
you're saying draft lottery and
let the seasons play out this year.
okay.
So then you know how they how for the NFL draft or the NBA draft they have a draft order from. All right, well, you guys were the worst, so now you guys have the first pick.
Yeah.
All right, well, you guys have the first pick, so then now we would implement that. You have the first pick. All of the players in the league from every team are free agents.
Are you saying you're talking about the major reset?
Yes. So and you're essentially just gonna rebuild your team. Everybody's playing on 1 year deals.
Okay.
And you have to just draft. So now you have the first pick. So now, all right. For example, the Pistons, worst team in the league. Let's just say they have the first pick. Everybody's a free agent.
All right, I understand what you're
And
saying.
then this way, especially for baseball, the smaller market teams makes everything more balanced. No mega teams. I think that'd be dope.
I just think it's way too much for them to do.
How?
Dude, everybody's in different contracts, different pay rates. Now you're cutting everybody, and then you got to redo contracts, and then I just think it's too much. I think it's too much.
Well, I'm sure. I feel like they'd be able to figure it out.
I think to fix baseball's problem, all they need to start doing is start trading draft picks. Then baseball will take off from there.
I mean, that's one thing they can definitely start doing to fix the game.
That's 100% that'll fix that'll tip the scales back in smaller market teams.
Yeah, Definitely.
You know, because if I already suck and I'm already getting the number one pick, and you telling me I could trade my number one pick this year and my second pick this year for 2 1s next year, okay, I'm in. And you already have a decent team like Baltimore. Say Baltimore came across a deal like that. You don't think Baltimore would do that? Dude, they're just picks. These guys don't really come up, that quick unless they're just all stars.
Right.
But it still takes everybody a little time to go up.
Yeah. Not everybody develops at the same rate.
Yeah. I mean, to your hater to love it, I gotta say I hate it. I think it's just too much. I wish there was a way to that's a way to do it, but it's so much on the league.
Well, think of it this way. All right, so you would restart it like that, and essentially, it's okay. So say I don't know, Devin Booker, his new contract.
Okay.
So whoever was the worst team gets that first pick. They pick him.
Yeah.
Now he's still going to get paid that money, but his old team and the new team split the difference. Or
So you tell me I gotta split the difference on a lost asset? Fuck that. There's no way a team's signing up for that. As soon as you would have said that in a meeting with your board or whatever, they'd have been like, get out.
Or what you do is you reset it and you would null and void and everyone's contract would be canceled. And then what you would
players
do
are gonna sue.
No, you would do that, but you would have a new format in place for how much these guys can make within a given year. You know, like there would be guidelines for like, all right, well, you're an all-star, you fit into this bracket, so this is how much you can make. You fit into this bracket, this is how much you can make. You fit into this bracket, and so on and so forth, in levels.
If you were just starting the league, then it makes sense to do that, to get onto that right, format. But the way they're all set in stone, the only thing they could do is make improvements to what they already have. Because to change it it's just too much legal fucking problems, and then you're gonna have people fucking going irate. This is the dumbest thing. There's just so much shit to it. Players fucking complain, I'm not going here. I fucking, owners are like, oh, this is bullshit. Why am I losing my assets? Fuck them. That's their fucking problem over there. Yeah, you're talking about causing like an absolute meltdown. Whatever league just turns around like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
So then it would be a process. So the league and all the teams would start talking about it now.
And so to get this done in like 20 years.
Or within the next 5 to 10 years.
That's drastic. That's drastic. That's something you got to talk about for a year, and then like you put it in the paper like, oh, by Roger Goodell says by 2043 the NFL will move to this type of thing. And everyone's going to read it and be like, the fuck? They'll talk about it. Everybody fucking forgets. And then, Roger Goodell's like still there, all this shit. Like, remember what I said? All right, we're doing it.
I get what you're saying about, all the money and everything, but I just feel like that would make everything way more balanced.
I know what you're referencing, too. You're referencing what you could do in Madden. When you want to create your ultimate, like your own team, and you just go, fantasy draft for the league, and then you get to, draft, your team.
Not even
player.
Just that, but like, if you also expanded it to 100 games, if you expanded the rosters, and things like that,
I think the league is looking good. LeBron James, a lot of older players are leaving, and it's a new wave of players. So you're not going to see the exact super team anymore. Once they go, and a lot of people are going to follow behind them that have been playing just as long as they have, or a little bit less.
Right.
They're going to follow suit. So it's literally the LeBron, Curry, all that, Tim Duncan era, all that shit that we had in the past is coming to an end. It's going to be a whole new wave of players.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
I mean, it should be that should be fun all in all, just for basketball and its future. But
Yeah,
who's gonna be the face now? That's the fucking key.
right.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Who's getting the torch passed to him in a sense?
Yep.
I mean, I'll be pissed if it's LeBron James' son, because then it's like, can you guys go the fuck away?
It's like, yeah,
You know how you feel about Tom Brady is how I would feel about fucking LeBron James, and I usually that never happens. Sons or offspring don't really amount to what their fathers do,
no,
or mothers, in that sense. So I mean, I hope he has a solid career, but if they're really intending to pass in the torch to him and he's not really all that.
that would be super dick riding, and then I would definitely have no intention of watching basketball.
No, but I think they're gonna move towards, like you said, Devin Booker, somebody like that.
Yeah,
All right, Danny, hate it or love it. NL East will come down to the final series in
not at
October.
all.
I just had to slide it in there.
Not at all.
Not at all. You think it's a wrap?
Yep, they're done. They are a playoff team, but they're done.
Just for their sake as a team, I hope that they take back the division, right? And they win that series 2-1, and they walk away with it, just to say fuck you, Danny.
Well, that'd be cool, but I still say
Is
that they're
that
done. They're not winning a championship this year.
Hey, crazier shit has happened, Danny.
Well,
They're built to do it. It's just it's not how you start; it's how you finish.
yeah, I guess.
I love your optimism, you piece of shit.
Um, we'll see how it happens.
Alrighty.
So, just like the with the NBA, hate it or love it, the NFL should expand the season to 20 games and expand the roster size because you were talking about them saying that they're going to cancel the preseason games and doing joint practices. Why not just expand the season?
They're going to, but they're not going to do it so drastically. Like they kind of got a pushback when they went to 17. Players were kind of pissed because it's like, yo, I have to play preseason games with the training camp, and then I've got to play another fucking game. And especially if I'm a playoff team, now I'm looking at 20 games. That's a lot for football being the most physical sport. They have the best argument for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm out there putting my fucking life on the line every fucking day out there. You know what I mean? So someone's gonna have to break bread, or we're gonna have to change something. So I think in the next 5 years, the preseason will finally be gone, and they'll probably go to about 18 games, and they'll hold 18 games for a little while, see what their revenue is like. If they're coming up short, then they'll make that drastic jump of 2 more games, and they'll expand the playoffs. Now, if they're going to do that, they definitely will have to expand rosters. I imagine them making it maybe
it,
62, 65,
something like that. Yeah,
something like that, especially with a practice squad. You know,
right.
I love it, but I just I don't see it happening for a little bit of a time. At least within 10 years, we should be at 18 to 20 games. They're not going to do nothing funky like 19. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think they'll just jump right to the 20.
yeah. 19 is not. I mean, 17 is not even, but
So yeah, but it wasn't so drastic. It was just like, hey guys, just one more, just one more. You know
you
what I mean?
know. But if you jump to 20 now, you're expanding rosters. You got to pay
Yeah.
guys a little bit more, and well, now you're adding another bye week.
Well, then the NFL right at that point has to bump everybody's cap up
Yeah,
because the cap has to be able to meet that roster, and the
right.
players aren't going to take a pay cut.
Not at
They're
all.
like, fuck that, bro. If I'm out there for 20 games, and then you're going to have me run out there for at least 4 more games to win a Super Bowl, all right, and then my bonuses better go up then too for those
Yep.
games. So, and we already know the owners are fucking, penny pinchers. So,
Yeah.
good luck with fucking that. Roger Goodell will find his fucking winner.
Yeah.
All right, hate it or love it, Danny. MLB should move to a automatic strike zone
I disagree. I hate it.
with the assistance of an umpire.
Yeah, like for example, like you know how when you're watching a game and they show you the pitch track
Uh huh.
and they show you that the ball is like like right on the borderline and it's like half in the zone, half out the zone.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be like a computer calculation that determines okay, it's 51% outside the zone, 49% inside the zone.
Mm-hmm.
So that 2% automatically makes it a ball.
Yeah, but like if Google has these glasses that I mean, they're fucking expensive as shit, but they're glasses that can run your phone and shit like that.
Really?
So yeah, so I don't. I mean, it's up to the MLB, but I would think they would have all the umpires sit down and input their strike zone, right? Right, and then they put the glasses on with the fucking mask, and then like you said, the ball's hitting outside of the zone or inside the zone.
Right.
I don't think it'll happen for a while, but the way they're fucking making changes right now, it's crazy.
I think it's only a matter of time, honestly.
Yeah,
But
I'm not even opposed to like the home plate umpire calling it right, and then they're probably gonna move to this. You probably get one pitch challenge, right?
mm,
So where they'll review the tape and then somebody will call into them and be like, yeah guys, that was a fucking ball.
yeah,
Hmm.
like be able to be able to argue stuff like that. Because I mean, I know there's things in baseball that you can't argue or you can't challenge. If that's going to be the case, and they're going to make more rules and changes, at least let me be able to argue and challenge whatever I want.
Yeah,
Like unless it's the ninth inning, and like with football, if it's the fourth quarter, after 2 minutes, it's booth review. You know,
yeah,
that stuff I'd understand.
yeah. I'd understand it like if they implemented it for the playoffs just to try it. You get a one pitch challenge.
Right.
I think it would come. I think it would add a little bit more suspense, and then you're actually gonna get the right result instead of people arguing for months on. It was a fucking ball.
Yeah, like that pitch in the dirt when AJ Pierzynski,
Mm-hmm.
plays like that and stuff. So, alrighty. So I'm gonna run through it real quick, but hate it or love it, the MLB rule changes for 2023. So this is what we have: a 30-second timer between batters, a 15-second timer with bases empty, a 20-second timer with runners on base, shortens the games by about 26 minutes, limits the throws to first, and increases stolen base attempts.
Okay.
Um, Pitchers must begin their motion before the timer expires. If the pitcher violates that, then it's an automatic ball. If the batter violates it, it's an automatic strike. The batter must be in the box and alert by the 8-second mark will be charged a strike. With runners on base, the timer resets if a pitcher attempts a pickoff or steps off the rubber. Pitchers are limited to 2 pickoffs or step-offs per plate appearance. This resets if the runner or runners advance during the plate appearance. If a third pickoff attempt is made, the runner automatically advances if the attempt wasn't successful. Mound,
What?
yeah,
Wow, they're getting busy.
yeah, and how many times is that going to be successful?
Oh, I don't know, man. They're definitely gonna be stealing a lot more.
Yeah,
They're like telling like you better steal, motherfucker.
right.
I'm excited for that. That's the only aspect that I'm really excited about.
Mound visits, injury timeouts, and offensive team timeouts don't count as a disengagement.
Okay.
If a team uses all 5 mound visits prior to the ninth inning, the team will be allowed one more for the ninth. Umpires may provide more time if warranted. Example: if a catcher gets thrown out in the last half inning, he may be granted more time to put his gear on. The defensive shift, it's
Done.
basically yeah, and it's clear as day. You have to stay on the dirt. You have to, two on the left, two on the right. You can't have a fourth outfielder kind of thing. You can bring the outfield in closer, but you can't have 4 outfielders. Um,
Hmm.
but the only thing really with that is If infielders are not properly aligned at the time of a pitch, the offense can choose whether it's an automatic ball or take the result of the play.
That's
Uh,
weird.
Bigger bases, the old bases are 15
Yeah.
inches, the new bases are 18,
Yeah.
and it's to avoid collisions and encourage stolen bases. So, with all this, um, stolen base attempts in 2019 was at 2.23, which is a 68% success rate.
Uh-huh.
This year, 2.83, which was a 77% success rate.
Good.
So, with all that said in mind, is that something you hate or is that something you love?
I love it, but it conflicts with their no bunt rule for next year as well. If you're doing all that, then you gotta encourage bunting.
Yeah.
Because then to have people flying around the bases, and it's also going to depend on how these umpires are really going to enforce it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they got a lot going on. Now we're talking about clocks. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I guarantee you they're gonna have to hire more umpiring staff just
Maybe
just to be there just for the clocks.
to be on top of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it because I hate it in general as far as them fucking with the game of baseball. But we're doing this because we're trying to shorten the game. Really, you for about an extra 26 minutes. Like that's really gonna fucking kill you, bro. 26 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say 26 minutes. If it was more like close to 40, then we're looking at something. I
That's
think
ridiculous.
I think this is what's gonna happen. They'll save that 26 minutes, but because the rules committee can change it, they'll probably bump up the timers.
I think they should be at least 60 seconds, if anything.
Yeah, at least or 45.
Yeah.
20 seconds, and then you're talking about if I throw three pickoffs and I ain't get him, he gets to go to the second
No,
base.
no, me. Yeah.
Like, hey, what?
Yep. So that essentially is gonna get rid of that.
I'm excited to see how many fucking steals fucking Shohei Otani's gonna have next year.
Well, he's not a stolen base threat, so it's not really gonna be a big difference for guys like
He's
him.
not a stolen base threat.
No, he's not a dude. Come on, he's not a Trey Turner. You know, he,
Yeah, with respects to Trey Turner.
he's not a speedy guy. Yeah, he can run, but he's not someone that gets on base and you're like, oh yeah, he's gonna steal 30, 40 bags in a season. He's not that kind of guy.
He's not that kind of guy. Trust me, you're not that guy, pal.
But in general, this is gonna bring back the whole stolen base thing. I mean, I'm not saying we'll ever see one, but the Ricky Hendersons, the Vince Colemans, and shit like that. It's gonna be interesting, but it's definitely something that I really do hate.
Like I say, it conflicts, but thank God they do have that rule committee that can change it. If need be.
Right? No, yeah, but they probably won't,
Or like I said, they'll bump up the timers.
which is what I think they should do. But they tested these in minor leagues, so these are the results. These are the results they got from down there. So they're going to implement them next year.
Just give me 1 second. I'm looking up something.
Let's see. Who's playing right?
All right.
What are you looking up?
I was trying to find his steals, but it's irrelevant. All right. Hate it or love it. Aaron Boone will be fired and Cashman at the end of the season.
I love it. I mean, I'm not a Yankee fan, but they definitely need to make some in-house moves.
Yeah.
Make some changes.
And if it's not both of them, one of them's got to go.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be Boone out on his ass before it's Brian.
Mm,
They'll probably give Cashman one more fucking go.
Yeah, but for you to give him another go to bring in more mediocre players, more guys that are over the top, more guys that are gonna overperform and then you know fall apart at the end of the year. I don't know. I say they both have to go.
Yeah. All right. So we have one thing to report on NBA. The salary cap could rise to 134 million for the 2023-2024 season. Other than that, I guess we're a week into that, Donovan Mitchell trade. There's really
Yeah.
nothing going on until about next month when the season kicks off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I guess we'll jump right into our verses.
Yep. So this week, Dennis Rodman versus Draymond Green. I took Dennis Rodman.
Let's hear it.
So 911 games played, 7.3 points per game, 13 rebounds per game, 1.8 assists per game, 0.7 steals per game, 52.1 field goal percentage, 23.1 3-point field goal percentage, 58.4 free throw percentage. His player efficiency rating was 14.6. The league average is 15. His WS was 89.8, which is the estimate of the number of wins contributed by a player. 6,683 total points, 531 blocks, 611 steals, 11,954 rebounds. He's a Hall of Famer, two-time All-Star, five-time NBA champion, eight-time All-Defensive Team, NBA 75th Anniversary Team, two-time NBA All-Third Team, two-time Defensive Player of the Year, seven-time rebound champion, and seven-time All-NBA Defensive First Team.
That weird motherfucker.
Yeah, seriously.
He was. I recall one of the stories. What he would do is he would just sit there all day and throw a ball onto the rim, and just pay attention to the sound, and shit like that, and the way the ball would come off the rim, so he could be that good at rebounding. So where he knew where the ball was gonna be off the sound of the fucking, the ball off the rim,
Really?
where he could have his back to the rim, and he can hear it hit, and he already knows where the ball is gonna be.
Hmm. Never heard of that before.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite stories about Rodman. It was like, all right, at least he took his craft serious, but he needed some breaks, like in the documentary about Michael Jordan, whatever the fuck it was. I forget. I don't recall the name of it. The Last Dance. There you go. You know what I mean? All right, so Draymond's got 4 championships to Dennis's 5. Draymond's played 10 seasons. Playoffs played. Draymond's played in 8. Draymond has 4 All-Star games. All right, All NBA teams, 2. All Defensive Team, 4. All Defensive Team selections, 7. Defensive Player of the Year, 1. Rebounds leader, 0. Steals leader, 1. Points per game, 8.7. Rebounds per game, 6.9. Assists per game, 5.4. Steals per game, 1.4. Blocks per game, 1. Draymond's got 5,960 points. He's got 4,751 rebounds. He's got 3,733 assists. He's got 955 steals. He's got 711 blocks. He's played 685 games so far. His field goal percentage is 44, 3-point 31, free throw 71. Points per game, best season 14 to Dennis's 11.6. 9.5 rebounds to Dennis's 18.7. Assists per game, Draymond's 8.9 to Dennis's 3.1. Steals per game, 2 to Dennis's 1. Blocks per game, 1.4 to Dennis's 1. So, Rodman blows him out of the water at rebounding the ball.
Yeah.
Draymond edges him a little bit points wise. which I think if Draymond plays 4 more years, I think he'll bump that up a little bit, maybe to like 9, maybe 10. Um, I think he can win another Defensive Player of the Year. If he does that, then he's almost right aligned with him. He's gonna blow him out of the water in assists. He could surpass him in points in 4 years, without a doubt.
Right.
I think this is a preference, but for me, like I love Rodman, but I'm gonna take fucking Draymond.
Me too.
You know, yeah, Rodman played on championship teams, but he wasn't the focal point. Yes, he was a contributor. He was a high volume contributor, at rebounding the ball and being clutch, is getting that rebound. But Draymond does more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And honestly, for me, Rodman's too funky for me.
What?
Just too funky for me.
He's too funky for you.
The nose rings and the different colored hair. It's like I just, I'm nothing against the guy, but like it's just too funky for me. Like,
well, when you put him on a team that already has attitude, like those Pistons and then those Bulls team, he fit right in, but just in his own unique way.
Yeah.
Smacking guys in the ass, going, "Ooh, I like your ass." You know what I mean?
Yeah, too funky for me.
Too
Not
funky
happy.
for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Draymond just does a lot more. Yeah, he gets blown out in the rebounds, but I'll take the assists and the steals and the blocks. Yeah, Rodman won 2 defensive players, but I think Draymond can win. If he wins another one, then it's like I think that'll stamp it, because I think he's gonna not rebound wise, but everything else he's gonna surpass him in.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah,
his free throw percentage is better.
Yeah, field goal percentage not much. It's not where Rodman's is, but I'll take that. I'll take that because they both put up almost the same production points. 8 to what was it? It was like 8 to 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so you really not concerned with that. And Draymond, before they had that dream team built, he was dropping his 11, 14, 15 average. A couple seasons there. So
right.
I argued about this with somebody else. And I said, put Draymond, which is going to happen in the next 2 years. He's going to want a bag, right? So he'll go and sign a 3-year deal with another team, a shit team or whatever the fuck it is, where he's going to be responsible to put up more points. Because you got to think, you're not going to have that, in his defense, what he said, I forget, on the barbershop with LeBron, he goes, people are like, oh, you suck, you don't score. He's like, dog, why do I have to score it when I have fucking Steph Curry, who's wide the fuck open? Like, who? Exactly. He's like, who shoots? You're a fucking idiot if you shoot. Nobody shoots. Here you go.
Honestly, I see Draymond as like another Al Horford kind of player.
Yeah, but it's just better defensively. But Al Horford's a better scorer for his size.
Right.
Shooting the 3. Motherfucker. Yeah, I think Draymond's just a better all-around player. Now, if you want to say, "Oh, Dennis Rodman's the greatest rebounder of all time," I won't refute you on that. Those numbers don't lie.
Right.
But everything else,
Well, let's see who's the all-time rebound leader in the NBA.
I think that's what's his name, Will Chamberlain.
Let's see.
Yeah, Will Chamberlain with 23,924. All right, so maybe Will Chamberlain is the greatest rebounder of all time.
Yeah. And honestly, and how many did you say Draymond had? 5,000?
Fuck.
4,000?
Hold on, I'm getting there. 4,751.
I mean, even if he plays 10 more years.
Nah, he's only going to play about 5, 6. And even if that, let's say, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, 1,500. You know what I mean? he'll like have like 6,000 something, six and some change.
Right.
You know what I mean? But his assist for him playing a power forward and his steals, I think that's what's going to get him into the Hall of Fame. Of course, those rings are what's ultimately getting him in.
Yeah.
You know, but Rodman did his part too. You know where he was at, just in a different way. At a time where, you know, a guy like that wasn't expected to score. You know, but people are dumb going, "Oh, Draymond, score more." Why? Like, you know, I'd be screaming that from the Raptors. Why? Like, why?
I don't need to.
Like
you said.
Draymond, you need to score more.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
All right, so guys, we got our top 5 dead or alive tomorrow. We have the NFL news, what's going on, and fantasy advice. So I hope you guys come by. Shoot us your questions for your lineup. I guess for the last 4 minutes, if you guys have any questions about fantasy or anything, you guys can throw them in here. What time did the Mets play today?
6:10.
6:10.
No interest of watching.
6:10. Why
I'll be-
6:10? That's weird.
I'll be watching something else.
What are you gonna be watching?
Probably football.
College football?
Yep.
I think Arkansas was just beating fucking. Who the fuck were they playing? No, now I have tennis. Okay, I love how we went from college football to tennis.
Marshall is beating Notre Dame 9-7 right now. That's an interesting one.
Furman and Clemson is playing right now. I bet you Clemson is beating the ever-loving shit.
Yeah, Clemson's up 21-3.
Yeah, all right. That seems just about accurate.
Virginia
at Illinois. Oh my God, no, I'm not watching that game. The motherfuckers is fumbling in the end zone already.
Let's see.
All right, Texas A&M.
Yeah,
I'm watching.
Texas A&M. Yeah, Miami's playing them next week. Texas A&M is the 6th ranked team in the nation. Miami's 15. That's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah, but how is Texas A&M ranked 6th right now?
I have no idea.
Sometimes I wonder where to get these fucking rankings from, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they're tied with Appalachian State right now, 7-7.
7 up. See what else we got here. Samford at Georgia. Yeah, why would anybody want to watch that? That's just going to be somebody kicking the shit out of another person.
Yeah, that's going to be like a 70-point game.
Houston at Texas Tech. Wait, what? Oh, Texas A&M is 6. I'm like, what the fuck? Can we stick to like one school from a state?
What do you mean?
Texas State, Southern Texas State, Texas A&M, Texas AU, Texas this. Jesus.
Well, there's a lot of colleges out there.
Yeah, but holy fuck. That many. Do we have to have that many Texas in one, like, you know, division or something like that? No.
Well, they're in different conferences and whatnot.
How could they be in a different fucking conference? They're in the same fucking state.
One is northern, one is north, one is south, one is west, one is east. You know, I don't know how they break it down like that, but
yeah, I think they needed. I've always said that system is fucking weird. I can never understand it.
like I think that's going to be a good game tonight. Baylor versus BYU.
What?
That's a 10-15 game.
You see, like we said about Zach Wilson, like, now we haven't really seen much from him, but it's like, dude, I don't understand the Jets. Oh, let's take a quarterback that plays out of BYU. Who the fuck does BYU play?
Yeah.
Who?
I'm actually going to tune into that game, the Appalachian State and Texas A&M, because I want to see how Texas A&M is actually going to play, because Miami plays them next year. I mean, next week, so that's going to be a good game. If I can, so Texas A&M, so that's the Aggies and the Mount, really, like Texas A&M Aggies, like really? Like the fuck type of shit is that?
All right,
Yeah, I
guys.
don't get it.
We'll see you guys 11 a.m. sharp tomorrow. Thank you for joining us.